My name's John Tallman. I'm a musician from Rockford, Illinois. Yeah, currently I'm in a band called Half Catholic, and formerly was in a band called Pink Beam, and I've had a bunch of little bands when I was younger, but mm, didn't really put a lot of music out there. So most notably, Half Catholic and Pink Beam.
What kind of influenced you to start those bands or to play music in general?
Um, well, for influences, mostly like pop rock stuff. Like kind of started with I guess bands like Weezer, and then bands from the 60s like the Beach Boys or the Beatles, just pop structure, guitars, harmonies. But yeah, I have a lot of, or I'd say biggest influences are probably those groups I mentioned, and then trying to think of some other ones I like. Um, I guess more recently I've been listening to like um, this band Super Drag, Teenage Fan Club's an influence. I'm trying to think. I know I should have wrote these down. So I have a lot of them. But yeah, basically anything that's melodic and has vocal harmonies and a lot of chords and stuff is kind of what I'm into.
When um when do you think you realized you wanted to play music?
Well, I think I wanted to play music for a long time when I was like a young teen, but I just didn't really know how to get into it. And my older brother had a band that he was touring with and stuff, so I would go to their shows, and that kind of got me determined to actually start my own band. So I just kind of started. Found any friend. I had like a few friends that played instruments, and I just kind of got them together, and we're like, let's make songs, and it happened pretty fast, but took me a while to start actually playing guitar. But yeah, just kind of happened. I wanted to do it for a long time, but it took a few years to actually do it. But yeah, never
Hmm.
really looked back since I started.
Well, what's kind of the process for recording?
Well, for recording, um, basically what we usually do is we have a song pretty much flushed out, the arrangement for it and parts written, and we'll record the drums first to a click track. Our drummer, or the drummer I play with, I've been playing with for a long time, Jake. He, yeah, he'll record his drums at home. Uh, he has like his own recording setup, an interface with 8 channels, so he can record all his drums, and the cymbals and everything. And then he'll send me the drum track file, and then we'll just kind of start adding the basic tracks one by one. And then for me, I'm usually still writing lyrics while I'm recording the song. So I do a lot of edits. Like I'll have one draft, and then I'll keep tweaking stuff um, till the very end. And then it just kind of, as we work on it, production ideas will come about, and just little tiny things like, we throw a lot at the wall and see what sticks, and a lot of stuff we'll record and then we'll take out and then we'll redo, and it's just always kind of a work in progress.
Where do you kind of get your ideas for your lyrical content?
Well, with lyrics, it's always hard because that's if you have a good melody and you don't have a good lyric, or at least a lyric that works. Um, the song often I will kill the song, but basically I try to I don't really know exactly where I get it or get my lyrical ideas from. A lot of it really just comes from if I think of a concept or some kind of a line or a pair of words, I'll put them in like I have like a iPhone notes doc that I just write stuff, little phrases, or maybe I'll have like a little couplet. But I almost never end up using any of that stuff. But I think sometimes just doing that like puts enough good stuff out in the universe that when I am writing something, I'll I'm maybe can think a little bit quicker and but yeah, it's hard to say. I mostly try to I don't know, I try to just make songs that are like, true to whatever to my voice. Like I don't think too much into it, but just sometimes it'll sound an idea might seem unnatural or just doesn't seem like me or something along that line. So it's yeah, I'm really picky about what ends up being on it, but I'm also not like trying to be a poet or anything. It's really more of like if the song if I listen to it and it seems like it's working and a lot of times it's something I don't have to force that much. But yeah, lyrics are probably the most difficult thing for me and probably I would guess most songwriters. And lately I've been trying to just be more diligent about keeping up with like while I'm working on a melodic idea to try to at least try to come up with some lyrics even if I don't use them just because that muscle is it's just an important one to keep active.
So it's you and the universe working together.
Yeah, I think so. I think you gotta kind of I think that with any kind of creative endeavor a lot of times the stuff you learn is from the stuff that doesn't make it, like the unfinished piece or whatever. It's like it's just a part of it. The process is failure. It's a big part of it. So yeah, just try to always kind of be working on something on some level. And a lot of times it doesn't end up how I want it to be, or the one idea that I think is going to be the cool one isn't. And but yeah, it's just you never really know until you're through it.
Do you have any shows coming up soon?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. Most of our booking is done for the year. I don't think we have any, or obviously, I guess the year's almost over. But even in January and February, I think we're doing some kind of a live stream thing in January in Madison. I can't remember. It's called spaceship.tv. I don't really know exactly the details of it, but it's some kind of a live stream where they kind of a multimedia show that they do where they'll play our music videos, do an interview, and then we'll do some live performances. And then I think we're supposed to play in Madison again in February.
Is there any advice that you would give to up and coming musicians?
Um, yeah, if I were to give any advice, I would just say, just get out there and do it, and you'll learn along the way. Like, don't think too much about it. Just you got to play some crappy gigs and get your ass kicked a little bit, but it'll get better, and you'll you'll learn more about what works and what doesn't work for what you want out of bandmates or what you want out of musical direction or what have you. So yeah, just do it and you'll figure it out.
Where is it that you can be found online?
We are I think on Instagram it's at half Catholic. Trying to think. We're on Facebook, but I don't know. Most people don't seem to use that. On Twitter, I think we're at Half Catholic as well, and Bandcamp, half-catholic.bandcamp.com. But you can find us streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that stuff. And I should say that we finished recording an EP, and it's going to go off to mix in January. So we'll probably have that released in springtime, and it'll be on all the streaming sites and all that.
That's awesome. I think that concludes the interview for the most part.
Sweet.